just mentioned that Bernie Sanders is a supporter of the minimum wage and that he thinks that raising the minimum wage would be a good thing and that people would be able to support their families. Governor Brown is the one, he is in the same political party as Bernie Sanders, and he's the one who actually proposed the bill. But in 2013, when he signed the first minimum wage hike to $10 an hour, he gave a statement to the Wall Street Journal and said that he and his economic advisor cautioned against any further increases because they were not sure of the damaging effects that could happen if they raised it any farther, and that was simply when he raised it to $10. Now they're planning to raise it to $15, so I found that article interesting. The man who is signing this bill that is supposed to be a good thing is not really for it himself, or maybe he just changes his mind a lot. Another thing that was brought to my attention was that minimum wage is a good thing because people need more money for essentials. However, the minimum wage, according to the Heritage Foundation, even if minimum wage workers do not lose their job from the minimum wage increase, the overlapping and uncoordinated design of the U.S. welfare programs prevents those in need from benefiting from higher wages. As their income rises, they lose federal tax credits and assistance. These benefit losses offset most of the wage increase. So, if the minimum wage does not help people as much as they think, since they are making more money, they automatically don't qualify for those tax credits that they might have been getting before, and they don't qualify for state assistance either because it shows that they are, in fact, making more money. Another point was that raising the minimum wage does not affect small businesses. But according to Michael Saltzman, who is a research director at the Employment Policies Institute, he said, and this is a quote, "Look no farther than San Francisco's restaurant industry, which has been hit hard by the $15 minimum wage that passed in November 2014 and is currently phasing in. Abbott's Cellar, once one of the city's top 100 restaurants, closed its doors earlier this year and cited that the minimum wage hike was a determining factor. For Source, a now shuttered vegetarian restaurant, the owner has said that the labor costs were a nail in its coffin." So quotes from San Francisco's own small business restaurants say that they are not doing well because of the minimum wage and they simply can't afford it. Another major point that I noticed was that raising the minimum wage would close the wage gap. However, according to Investopedia, if companies want to keep employee morale high and avoid pitting one worker against the other, those that arbitrarily raise employee compensation to above market rates will find it necessary to increase their costs further by giving the rest of their staff salary increases as well. And therein lies the problem. Simply boosting the wages of employees at the low end of the scale without getting an increase in the productivity and efficiency pressures wage rates all the way up the ladder. I don't know about you guys, but I work a minimum wage job right now, and I have worked there for about 2 years, and I make $3 above minimum wage. But I have, those are called raises because I feel I've worked to earn those, and personally, it would sort of bother me, just like this article is saying, if someone who had no experience came in and they just automatically started making as much as I made, simply because that's just how the world works. And that's human nature, and that's what this article is saying. Businesses are struggling because people find it unfair that new people are making just as much as they are, and so they're either going to quit because they're unhappy with the wage rates, they're going to go on strike, all sorts of things, and that's just going to keep the wage gap open because the people making more money are going to keep wanting to make more money because they think that is what's fair. Another major point was that it is not harmful to the economy. However, the minimum wage increase will not allow businesses to grow. According to Capital Weekly, most employers have a burden cost, which is, those are costs in addition to payroll, and those are at a standard 28%. These costs include matching the Social Security contribution, state disability, unemployment, and a host of others. So as the hourly wages increase, so does the dollar amount of the burden that the employer has to pay, and they're not going to want to keep hiring people if their 28% keeps rising in percentage because they already have to pay that per person on their payroll.